crossed your mind that slavery might still exist in abundance today? It had not crossed my mind until going to a conference and learning a great deal about just how much slavery still exists in other countries around the world as well as the U.S. This conference was a weekend event called Passion, where we learned extensively about slavery today as well as hearing from a little girl that had recently been rescued from slavery. This could be happening less than a mile away from your house. Although it is more popular in foreign countries, it is only getting worse here. But each person can help. Modern-day slavery is something that is hardly ever talked about. The word needs to be spread and attention needs to be drawn to this awful thing. The actual definition of slavery is when one person is controlled by another, forced to work against their will and treated like property. According to Modern-Day Slavery by Lydia Butler, what separates this phenomenon from other organized illicit activity, including human smuggling and drug trafficking, is the key element of exploitation of one human being by another. There are 27 million men, women, and children enslaved today all over the world. First, let's talk about some of the facts. According to www.enditmovement.com, people's lives are bought and sold and traded and shipped off, never to return for $90 or less per person. It costs the same amount of money to buy a nosebleed section ticket to a Major League Baseball game as it does to purchase a human life. And as the market value of the human trade is $32 billion a year, that should give you some idea of the scale of the problem from a purely human standpoint. Just think about $32 billion. That's an underground network whose annual revenue is greater than that of Google's. Next, some facts from the United States. There's about 17,500 people that are trafficked into the United States annually. That's nearly 48 people a day who have become slaves on the very same soil where it was established, where it was abolished 150 years ago. And the average age of these people is about 14 years old. Just think about all the things you did when you were a teenager. I bet being sexually exploited probably isn't one of them. Here in the U.S., it's estimated that 5,000 women and girls are trafficked and raped for profit every year in Atlanta alone. Slavery spans the globe as well, with 161 countries reported to be affected by human trafficking, either as sources, transit centers, or destinations. In Modern-Day Slavery by Dory Meinert, last year the U.S. Department of Labor reported that 130 types of goods in 71 countries were produced with forced labor, child labor, or both. Now let's talk about some of the types of slavery. The first type is bonded labor. It's one of the most widely used methods of slavery. It's a person becomes a bonded laborer when their labor is a means of payment for a loan. Extreme cases of bonded laborers have been reported in Pakistan, where laborers were found chained together and under armed guard. Bonded laborers can include whole families, such as is the case in India and Nepal. Migrant agricultural workers in Brazil are women exported to Europe as domestic workers into sexual slavery. The next one is forced labor, and that's any work or service which people are forced to do against their will under the threat of some form of punishment. Forced slave labor is most frequently found in labor-intensive, under-regulated industries such as agriculture, fishing, domestic work, construction, mining, quarrying, manufacturing, prostitution, and sexual exploitation. There's a high incidence of forced labor used in about 29 countries to produce 50 products consumed or used on a daily basis, including garments, shoes, toys, as well as bricks, cotton, cocoa, and carpets. And the third one is trafficking. This involves transporting people away from the communities in which they live and forcing them to work against their will using violence, deception, or coercion. Human trafficking is tied with the illegal arms industry as the second largest international criminal industry in the world and is the fastest growing. The majority of trafficking victims are between ages of 18 and 24 years of age, which is the age group that we're all in as well. Lastly, I'm going to tell you all about how we can help. So what can we do? The first thing is we can take action. If you go to enditmovement.com, you can download anything from Facebook profile pictures to posters to rave cards and a lot of other cool stuff to help bring awareness to slavery. I'm going to wait to the end, but I'm going to pass out some papers that I printed out that have actual people's stories that were in slavery. Each paper has a picture along with their name, age, and what country they lived in. It also has a couple paragraphs about their life and their situation with the slavery, but I'm going to wait to the end so it doesn't cause a distraction. Next, you can donate to organizations that help either people that are already in slavery or helps find people that are trafficking others. The first one is IJM, and it's lawyers, investigators, and aftercare professionals that work with local officials to rescue victims, prosecute perpetrators, and protect the poor. Next is the Polaris Project. It's one of the leading organizations in the fight against modern-day slavery. They transform the way the world responds to human trafficking. And the last one is Love 146, and they work to abolish child trafficking, exploitation through prevention, and aftercare while contributing to a growing abolition movement. And the last thing you can do, which is the easiest thing, is spread the word. Everyone here has an Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's as easy as just posting a status or posting a tweet, or even just putting a picture on Instagram. The symbol for ending slavery is actually a red X, so just posting a picture of a red X can help with slavery as well. There are many ways you can make a difference, no matter how small of a task it seems. There's still so much information and facts to learn, and like I said, you can go to enditmovement.com, and it has a ton of material to help you learn more and also spread the word on slavery. I hope I have shown all of you just how bad the situation is, and hopefully each of you will take action, even if it is just by signing the online petition or sharing a video on your Facebook page. Slavery could just as easily happen to someone you know. And like I said, I'm going to pass out some papers, and there were a ton of them on this website that I was talking about. And I specifically printed these out because I didn't want to just get pictures of females or just pictures of teenagers. I wanted to show you guys that this can happen to anyone of any age. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, and it doesn't matter your race. There's all different kind of people in here. So I guess I'll pass these out.